Welcome back to some Reddit Roundup, where we go through different subreddits and give our takes on things. And today, in this episode, in this video, we're looking at Am I the Asshole? Where we read a story and see if the person writing it is the asshole, or if everybody's an asshole, or if the other person they're talking about's an asshole. And we'll see what happens. Should I go with new or should I go with hot? I feel like for this one I should go with hot because, well, you know, I've also seen a problem with this subreddit where people that think that they aren't the asshole upvote them, and if they think they are the asshole, they downvote them, which means that all the people that have stories where they've made themselves seem like the good person end up floating to the top, and all the ones that are where the person is perceived as the asshole never make it to the front page. So we might take a look at these and see what it says. Am I the asshole for ruining my brother's date night and having him come pick up his 3-year-old son after he dropped him off at my house right before my shift? Well, look, see a thing like that, it just sounds like you're vindicating yourself here, because that seems like clearly an asshole thing for your brother to do. I have a brother, why would you say his name, who is single dad to a 3-year-old. Kevin lives in the same city as me. We don't have any family or relatives, just a few friends. Kevin has a habit of dumping his kid on me at random times to watch while he goes out on dates with women. So far he's gone on 4 dates while expecting me to watch my nephew. It bothered me because I have work commitments. Last week he did it again. He came over at 6 p.m., entered my house with my nephew while I was showering, and left the house immediately. I got out of the shower and was shocked to see my nephew standing there alone. I asked where his dad was and he said he just left. I knew he wanted me to watch the nephew. I called him several times on the phone and he didn't pick up. I was so mad and almost freaking out because I was getting late for my shift. I sent him a text calling, yeah, like, you're not the asshole here for this story. There's nothing to even say about that. Like, randomly not respecting people's time and schedules is always going to make you a selfish asshole. Like, you couldn't have scheduled your date and set a time with somebody to babysit him and take their time into consideration. Yeah, you're obviously an asshole. Unless, of course, this is just a inaccurate telling of the story. Like maybe he agreed to watch the son, but then got called into a shift and had to cancel. Something like that. That's a case for child service? Yeah, that sounds like a child service case. So definitely seems like the asshole. But I think what we are going to do is go to new and just see here. Am I the asshole if I think I'm better than my schoolmates and is deserved a better school? Well, no, I don't think you're better than your schoolmates. You can't even talk right. I'm a 14-year-old student. I'm almost 9th grade, and there's this thing that makes me guilty about myself sometimes. I think I'm selfish and bad thinking like it. The thing is, I feel I'm better than any other schoolmate. Most of my school students are problematic, as what I feel. They make comments about someone's appearance. Pardon my poor English. Okay, so we'll try not to harp on that too much here. They're probably not a native English speaker, so whatever. Transphobic as well because my state and country is full of it and doesn't support it. I was like them too, not someone to make fun of someone's appearance, but lockdown changed me and I've become a better person. And although I've never bullied, have been rude to someone intentionally, I would say I was completely nice with it all, even after lockdown. They're sexist, they don't even know basic political things. I know it doesn't matter much, but whenever I have a debate with my social science teacher because I don't like her castiest opinions, they, without even knowing anything, support the teachers. Basically, they are teachers' pet. Okay. Yeah, the 14 explains it. Okay. First of all, it's hard to not be an asshole when you're a teenager. So, oh man, what am I supposed to say here for saying you're the asshole? I'm gonna do that. If you are commenting, be sure to start your comment with the abbreviation for your judgment, i.e. you're the asshole. Without knowing anything else, I would assume the way you're approaching these conversations is most likely needlessly abrasive, and probably really condescending. Even if someone is right, you can still be a right asshole. I don't talk with anyone either. These things make me feel. Sometimes I deserve a better place with more better open children and teachers. While I'm aware that there are places where the things you described are the norm, I think it's unhealthy to categorically call yourself better than everyone around you based off your moral leanings when you still have so much to experience in the world. I think that's the best way of putting it. While I agree with some of the opinions you stated, you can still be an asshole in defense of them, right? It's probably the best answer you can give. Plus, again, if you end up looking at, oh, I didn't put my signature on there. Auto moderator. Wait, where did my post go? Oh, am I not allowed to post if I'm not? I'm probably not allowed to post if I haven't joined the sub. Well, just in case they end up seeing this, let's go in here. Also, typo. Permalink. Is it in here? I want to know if I'm seeing it. Okay. Judgment. Auto moderator? Yes, it's here. Okay, we've got it. Maybe we should go ahead and join. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think my take was correct here? Because it's basically true. When you're still a fledgling human, not all of your empathetic areas of the brain seem to be fully online. That might not be true for all teenage humans, but I feel like the good majority of them seem to be lacking those characteristics. So even though you may have lucked into having these opinions of morality that I think I would agree with, there's still definitely ways you can approach having those conversations that makes you a total asshole about it. Especially if you're saying it in such a condescending way that you think you're better than everyone around you and you wish you could just not be around them. Am I the asshole for removing my son's biological grandmother from his life in order to keep his adoption a closed one? Potentially? Oh, these are gonna all be super long because people want to give all their little caveats and stuff to it, aren't they? Am I the asshole for getting mad at a guy, male 26, I'm seeing for asking if I'm on the pill? Potentially. Okay, this one isn't too bad. I, female 22, been seeing this guy, male 26, for months now, but recently I've been traveling, so I haven't seen him in a month. When I returned, I've traveled to his city to see him. The first 2 nights we did the deed like usual. On the last night, I was staying at his house. We both had a little drink, but I'm a lightweight, so was quite drunk. Jesus Christ, get to the point of it. Anyway, fast forward to when we get to bed, and due to alcohol, I'm way more forward and proceed to have sex, but he proceeds to ask me if I'm on the pill, to which I obviously replied the truth, which is yes, I am. We've been having sex for a few months without a condom now, since he knew I was. I didn't really mind at this point, since we haven't seen each other for a while. What got me pissed off is that he proceeded to do next. He asked me 3 more times during the whole time we were having sex if I'm on the pill. each time I answered, but I got more and more frustrated since I didn't know why he keeps asking me the same question. He finished in me, and when he got off the bed, he proceeded to say, "You better fucking be on the pill," and that's when I saw red. I got up and I went to his spare bedroom, which I tried to calm down. I was never that angry. What? Yeah, I'm gonna say you both sound like juveniles. I also, maybe when he's drunk, he's insecure about things like that. Opened the door, marched back to the room where he asked why I was gone for so long. I, on the other hand, opened my backpack and took out 4 boxes of pills, proceeded to throw them at him. He honorably said I'm overreacting and that I'm in one of my moods. I left the next morning and haven't seen him since. Both the asshole? Not the asshole. Everyone sucks here. How about that? Yeah. Sounds like he was drunk too, right? He probably had maybe also trust issues. More yourself when you're drunk. Might have trust problems, and those get expressed when you're drunk and vulnerable. Didn't want to make a mistake that affects him for a lifetime. However, sounds like you both didn't handle those issues in healthy ways. Man, I really want to downvote people, but they say not to downvote people. Voting rules. Upvote posts that make for an interesting discussion. Don't downvote if you think the OP is an asshole. Don't downvote comments you disagree with. Downvotes should be reserved for off-topic discussions or spam. Okay. Yep, we won't downvote people just because I think they have a shitty opinion. But I think it's a lot to just say, yeah, you're not the asshole. He's an incel that assumes women just want a baby to trap them like they're hot stuff. Man, that is like a whole lot of mind reading there all at once. Jesus, is that what some people say here? They're having sex. Yeah, like how can he be an incel when he's having sex? Okay, I can afford that. Right? Involuntary celibate, having sex with someone multiple times. Yeah. What a fucking mental gymnastics there. Am I an asshole for stealing the plate out of my friend's microwave? Yes. How are you gonna possibly justify that? My friend and I had been playing Modern Warfare for a while, and I was going well until he got so mad. He took the pizza I had just ordered and threw it at me, completely ruining the pizza. So in exchange for that, I went to the kitchen in his house, went over to the microwave and took the plate. Am I the asshole? Jesus. What else do you say to that? What else do you say to that? You're both so fucking toxic. You're playing Modern Warfare and he got so mad he took a pizza and threw it at you? What the fuck is wrong with you two? And so in exchange you went and stole his microwave plate? Wow. Okay, this is probably bait. You know what? I'm gonna say that was bait. And I fell for the bait. Am I the asshole for telling mother-in-law no one actually wants her? Yes, that sounds like a good way to be an asshole. We'll look at it. Oh, too long. Get your story shorter. See, that last guy, I can say he's like the asshole for what he did, but he's not the asshole for making the story this long. Look, it's 3 sentences long. That's all we had to read to get to the point. Please. Wibita? Would I be the asshole if I told someone my job was too exhausting for me to deal with anything else? I mean, context there. What kind of things are you avoiding? I met this guy at a volunteering organization we're both part of. We've known each other for about 3 years. At first, we casually talked to each other, and I never thought anything of it. However, he started doing random things out of the blue. Like once, I was going to walk home in the rain with no umbrella. As I didn't bring one, he walks home in the rain with his umbrella, even though I lived 20 minutes away from him. Then there was this other time when I said I was craving freshly baked cookies, but I didn't have time to make them because of my job, and he asked for my address and delivered some to me. Then today, he asked me what my favorite type of movie was, and when I responded with my favorite genre, he asked if I wanted to go over to his house and binge watch some shows together. I said yes without really thinking about it, and now I'm regretting it. I'm interested in him, but I don't know if he feels the same way, and it stresses me out. My job is taxing enough, and I don't need additional hassle from him. I doubt he knows how stressful being a teacher is. You would not be the asshole, but I think a direct question. You could be the asshole. The longer you put this off, the more of an asshole you are. You could be the... It basically comes down to how long you take to tell him. The longer you wait to say this while accepting tokens of his generosity, the more of an asshole you are. I think that's fair, right? Like, it's okay to tell somebody you're not in the mood to date. That doesn't make you an asshole just because they've been invested in you. The problem is letting them get strung along. If you string someone along for weeks on end and let them invest into your relationship when you don't feel like reciprocating it, well, that makes you an asshole. Basically comes down to how long you tell them, the longer you wait and string him along. Before, I'm just rewording this to a way that sounds better in my head. The longer you wait and string him along before saying this while accepting tokens of his generosity, the more of an asshole you are. Just tell him immediately, and it won't stress you both out as much. Easy. Easy, done, simple. Alright, am I the asshole for referring to myself as a house elf? What? What? Oh my god, this is so long. Oh, in my head I don't care anymore. You make it succinct. Oh, excuse me. Am I the asshole for canceling almost everything for my sister's wedding? Questionable. Oh, this is long too. I'm 20 female and a maid of honor for my sister who's getting married this summer. Backstory, I'm a real estate agent in California. I own a house, new car, pretty much everything I want. My sister and all of her bridal party minus me work in lower paying jobs. My sister wanted to go away for a weekend for a bachelor party, so we looked at Airbnbs, found a really cool one in Nevada. It was $270 a night, 6 days total for the weekend, almost $1,000 total. So I put everyone in a group chat to discuss payment. They all immediately offered to pay for other things, food, drinks, party items. I kindly stated if we're all staying there, then we all need to pitch in for the Airbnb. And also the food and drinks. They agreed, or so I thought, so I booked the Airbnb for the weekend. A month until no one has paid, and I asked them about it. I got a load of excuses saying they need to pay bills, food, etc. So I'm canceling the booking and got called a spoiled brat. Okay, this all comes down to if they agreed. Like this, that's the important part. We're all saying that we need to pitch in. They agreed, or so I thought. They agreed, or so I thought. This is the I was the guy who stole the microwave plate. Okay, homie T-Dog. I really think that your relationship with that friend, maybe you guys need to like either not play Modern Warfare or approach that video game in a more healthy way. And also, when somebody does something bad to you, you don't necessarily need to retaliate to get your point across. Him wasting your pizza, that's a dick move. But stealing his plate doesn't get your pizza back. and it doesn't really like stop them from throwing pizzas at you in the future. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, you're gonna have to take the L on that with being an asshole in that situation, but hopefully you've given him back his plate and he's bought you a pizza since then. Otherwise, you probably should not be friends with him anymore, because that's just gonna lead to further complications if you can't resolve that. Does that make sense? It does make for a good story at the dinner table. Sure, but you don't need to go out of your way to make those stories. They'll still happen. And also, it's a funny story right now, but in the future it could be the source of some shame. Like, when people recognize that, then 20 years from now you're going to be like, could we not talk about me stealing that plate every time you bring up my past? It then becomes annoying. You become defined as the microwave plate guy. Oh, hey, the homie T-Dog's coming over. Everybody hide your microwave plates. You don't want him stealing it if he gets mad at you. Like, yeah, it could be funny, but just imagine somebody bringing it up every time. It could be quite annoying. But, yeah, I mean, all of us have those outbursts. Obviously, I can't say that I've been healthy with the way I've been angry at people often. But being able to recognize that if you have a friend that's hitting you with pizza over a video game, that's not cool. They're probably not your friend. And I don't want to say that lightly, because obviously people have bad days and stuff like that. But the way you said that makes it sound like this is probably a thing that frequently happens with Modern Warfare. Do you guys regularly get really pissed at each other and almost resort to violence? Pizza-related violence aside, because I would say that's probably not the foundation for a good relationship with somebody. Okay, but anyway, with this person, I'll give you a moment to say something in that. This is the crux of the problem. If they did agree and gave, it wouldn't be verbal, basically written consent to take on part of the bill, then they have a responsibility to do so. Failing to meet that responsibility means that they don't get the luxury of the room. Pretty simple. However, if you mean some of them agreed but not really, or said they would think about it, and you went ahead and booked before getting a concrete answer, then it sounds like you put extra responsibilities on people that didn't necessarily want it. So, potential asshole, but not enough context to say. And I'm not even going to give one of their answers here. I guess I could say info. We'll say info. That seems to be the way to go about that, right? I think so. Ooh, alright, moving on. Would I be the asshole for giving my girlfriend an ultimatum of me versus her guy friends? Oh, potentially. Ooh. Next time, take his hands. That way he can't throw the pizza. True. Hold his hands. Yeah, what? Suddenly gay just needs to turn around and, like, just kiss him. Like, oh, you're so mad. You turn me on when you're mad. No, I'm sorry. That's messed up. Alright, post says it all. I plan on telling my girlfriend that I'll be making a decision in a relationship if she continues to be friends with her friend X. I feel like she's crossed my boundaries and I'm going to let her know this week. She's been talking to X saying things like, I love to see that smile, I can't wait to see you more, and meeting you was like listening to a song for the first time. Yeah, those are some really romantic things to say. We've been dating for a year. She just started talking to this guy again 4 months ago. Before me, they used to fuck around and she ghosted him a while ago. Yeah. I don't think you're necessarily an asshole, but it's going to come down to how you do it. For the past month, I've been telling her I don't trust this guy. I'm pretty sure I know something is going on between you two. She denies everything and says she just talks to him like that because he's a good friend. Would never have feelings for him, only wants me. Loves me, wants to be with me, make the relationship work. I want to say not the asshole because it just really comes down to how you approach the situation. It sounds like he's been open and honest with how this, makes him feel. She's denied that, which is fair on her side because it could be true what she's saying. But if this is true, those are some very romantic things to say, and you're obviously sending the wrong signals if that is what you're talking about. So I'm going to say not the asshole. However, the way you approach this conversation could easily turn you into one. It sounds like you've been open about your feelings and the boundaries you set. So if they aren't respecting those, then it seems like a good time to bow out of the relationship. Oh, forgot to put our signature in. There we go. And I think that's the most fair you can be because I agree. I think you could easily end up being the asshole with this confrontation because you could come off as super jealous and controlling. Like, oh, you're not allowed to have any guy friends. You can't see your guy friends because I think it makes me inadequate. Obviously, I can't bring to the relationship what it is that you want. But on the other hand, if you've set up boundaries and you said, hey, you're really lovey-dovey with this guy and it makes me uncomfortable because it makes me feel like you're doing things behind my back. If they continue to not respect that boundary, then yeah, you should probably leave them because they're going to continue to do that. And it's going to continue to upset you and undermine your relationship. Pretty straightforward. Am I the asshole for not letting my husband go back on a promise? Well, context. Let's see what it is. Oh, too much context. Okay. Am I the asshole for... Sorry, but if I gotta read a short story, then we're not doing it. I guess there could have been a TLDR. Let's see if there's a TLDR at the bottom or the top here. Nope. Don't see one. Am I the asshole for refusing to move countries so my husband can be close to his son? Not necessarily. Let's see. Is it a novel? Not too bad. Okay. My husband and I are together for 4 years and living in Brazil for our entire relationship. He's an American, I'm Brazilian. We met when he came to work in Sao Paulo, initially just for a year. According to him, his marriage had ended before he moved here, but apparently his now ex-wife thought they were still working things out because she saw it as infidelity when he started dating me, and in her eyes, I'm the woman who stole her husband from her. You can imagine that's not an easy situation. The thing is, they have a son together who's now 12. My husband and I also have a 2-year-old daughter. Lately, he's been pressuring me to move to the US with him so he could be close to his son. I can understand that, but he's asking me to give up a lot of what I've been working for in the past few years, career-wise. I know I won't find an equivalent job in the US. So I told him I'll agree to move, even though it won't be the best scenario for me. If and only if his ex would give us joint custody. Apparently, she'll only agree on every other weekend, which amounts to less than 30 days a semester. That's pretty much the same amount of time we have with his son now, since he comes to Brazil every holiday. I don't think it's worth it for us to change our lives over that kind of time. In my husband's eyes, I'm pushing him into a custody battle with his ex, instead of just agreeing with his request. He says I wouldn't make this request if I really cared about his relationship with his son, which makes me sad because I love his son just as if he was my own. I also fear he will resent me if things continue this way. I would say not the asshole, because all of those seem pretty justified, but let's see. Imagine if the roles were reversed. You would want to see your child as much as you could too. If he just up and went to the US and all of a sudden 4 years later demanded joint custody of you, would you do it? That's where his mom is? Oh. Okay, apparently I was not in the majority here. But it just sounds like there's conflicting interests here. There's not like an easy answer. Because when you're like a split custody parent living far away, somebody has to make sacrifices. That's just the reality of it. I'm going to say not the asshole. I feel like everyone in this story is trying to do what's best for the children. There's just disagreement on what that is. Disagreement for what's trying to do what's best for the children while also considering what's best for the adults. Just disagreement on what that is. Navigating that is difficult and emotional, and I can understand why people would feel that either party in this situation is acting selfishly, etc. Because that's sometimes the answer, is they're not the asshole just because no assholes here is probably the better answer. Yeah. No assholes here. Just because, you know, it's a very difficult situation. You have people in different countries with two sets of stepchildren, and you're trying to take into consideration the needs of all of these people. The primary male in these relationships, the female telling the story, the now ex-wife, the child they had, and the daughter you have. Like, there's a lot of competing interests here, and trying to get to the bottom of each of them is going to be difficult. And just without knowing how these people are arguing, because he says he didn't want to make the request if he really cared about our relationship with the son, which makes me sad. I could also see his perspective on that, where he feels like she's prioritizing her daughter and herself over top of the son and the ex. But without actually knowing how people are making these arguments, it's tough to say. But that's my take on it, is I think people here are just trying to do what's best. They just disagree on it. Am I the asshole for not giving my girlfriend to a party with friends? Not inviting my girlfriend to a party with friends. Not necessarily. Context. Oh, it's almost a whole screen, so no. Am I the asshole for being mad that my parents sent me on a 1-month holiday to Spain when I was 11? I'm 40, female, living in Ireland, lots of issues with my parents, and cut contact 7 years ago, but until recently I saw the following as one of the few nice things they did, but now I think it might actually be horrible. Okay, this sounds like we already have some massive confirmation bias influencing this, so I'm sure this is going to be an accurate depiction of what happened. When I was about 10, we had a student from Spain stay with our family while she studied English for 1 month at the local college. She was 16. After she went home, my mom stayed in contact with her, and 1 year later, her family invited me to stay with them in Spain. I'm not sure why my parents said yes, since we definitely couldn't afford it, and I was a very shy child who was actually autistic, although not assessed until I was 30. I traveled alone, although I had an uncle working for the airline, so I think the staff kept an eye on me. I stayed with the family in 4 different locations in Spain, including their main home, vacation home, grandparents' home, and another relative. We traveled by car between locations. I don't remember anything hugely negative, but I know I was very homesick, got badly sunburned frequently, and terrified watching Silence of the Lambs. I was only able to call home once per week. Yeah, technology limitations. I mostly hung out with the then 17-year-old girl and her friends' cousins. They all spoke some English, I spoke no Spanish, and her parents and sisters only spoke Spanish. I do remember the 17-year-olds teaching me dirty words in Spanish and trying to get me to smoke, and being embarrassed when they were making out with their boyfriend's girlfriends. So as I said, I always thought I was really lucky to be given this opportunity, but now that I'm an adult and a mom, I'm thinking this was a terrible decision by my parents. They never met her family, only the 16-year-old daughter. Ooh. Could be an asshole. Hey, we needed one Russian bot for this video, so thanks for showing up and we all appreciate your contribution to the stream. If there's anything else you want to contribute to the stream, please feel free to continue to talk and chat. Oh, look, you brought a buddy with you? Did we got 2 Russian bots back to back? Amazing. They're multiplying. Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna say no assholes here. No assholes here. While it's okay for you to not want to do that with your own child, I also don't think what you described was awful. I think if I were to hazard a guess, I think you're just looking for more justification for the beliefs about your parents that you already hold, and this one seems like a bit of a stretch. Yeah, I don't think that makes them the asshole. They aren't the asshole for sending you on this trip, nor do I think you're an asshole for not having fond memories of it. I think that's pretty fair. Alright. Would I be the asshole if I cleaned up the garbage that has been piling up in my parents' house for decades, leaving 50 to 75% of the house unusable without asking them? I don't think so. I think sometimes an intervention is necessary, but we'll see. I'm talking about old office supplies, craft supplies I haven't been interacted with in decades, empty candy bar wrappers, ancient technology. I'm planning on organizing everything into label bins and walk around in their house again. You have to wade through 1 to 6 foot high piles of garbage, get from some end of the rooms to the other, and thick layers of dirt. Oh, I need somewhere to work temporarily, but literally isn't a 3x4 area. Could shove all the garbage to one side of each room, but that's how it's already been for decades. Everyone hates themselves here because of how filthy the place has been for decades, and I need a place where I can set up my workspace so I can get to work. My dog came home in to lay down beside me just now, but there isn't enough room for him to lay down anywhere on this house. I would say not the asshole, but depends. If you're just organizing things, that's fine. However, there could be a lot of sentimental value in old electronics and whatnot. Throwing away wrappers, garbage is one thing. Tossing out a VHS player would probably make you the asshole here. Interventions can be really good. I basically want to say, you know, sometimes you have to intervene in somebody's unhealthy decisions in order to save them from them. And while they might not appreciate it, and there's ways you could do that that makes you an asshole, the fact that you're doing it doesn't necessarily make you an asshole. And that's what I'm going to say here. Interventions can be necessary to help save someone from themselves. Their self? Their self. Themself? Okay. Hopefully that's the right way of putting it. There are ways you can do that without being an asshole. And as long as you do it that way, you're fine. Seems pretty reasonable to me. What do you guys think? What do you feel about interventions in general? Like, I know that people have their own autonomy, like say with drug addiction. I think that's the one that people usually go to when it comes to interventions, is that you can watch somebody's life start deteriorating because of their involvement with, like, let's say meth, because that seems to be an incredibly addictive and powerful drug. So if you watch somebody get addicted to meth, it's not necessarily directly affecting you as long as they don't like steal from you or need money from you or do the drugs in front of you and get you participating in their illicit use and possibly get you in trouble with the law. Let's say they don't have any direct involvement with you in their drug use. You still would have a reason to perform an intervention there, because you could see the negative effect on them, and trying to stop somebody from potentially facing a lifetime of negative circumstances, with the only expense being your personal time to get involved in their life and stop this, I don't think makes you an asshole. I think it kind of makes you the opposite of whatever an asshole would be in that situation, if we're being frank. But you can clearly do it in a really dickish way. Like, whenever you know somebody's high, you can like call the cops on them, tell the cops that you're a drug dealer, and just try to get them locked up for their own good. I don't think that's necessarily the right way to go about it. I think there's probably more healthy ways to do it, with an escalation towards that being an option, but maybe starting out with more direct social intervention, you know? So yeah, this, if you've already been telling them, hey, we need to clean up my stuff, the stuff in the house, we need to organize things and clean it up, then yeah, I think that's fine. Showing up randomly one day with a bunch of containers and just tossing everything in there could also be kind of a dickish move. But it kind of sounds like you're dealing with hoarders, and hoarders can create some really disgusting situations. Like if you've got candy wrappers and stuff and, you know, piles of dirt building up and it's filthy, you probably also have pests. You probably have like cockroaches and stuff. You might have some mold, like black mold building up in places. I can only imagine like your kitchen is most likely super disgusting and is not a healthy place to eat, which probably impacts your availability of food options. Like you're talking about something that cascades out into the rest of your life. So yeah, getting your filthy house picked up would probably massively change a lot of things for the better. And if that means making people uncomfortable with getting things picked up, that might be necessary. And I don't think that makes you an asshole. All right, we're at 43 minutes. We might even get to the bottom of the first page here. Would I be the asshole if I tell my friends she shouldn't hook up overnight with guys at my other friend's bachelorette weekend? Yeah. Oh, I missed one. Would I be the asshole if I asked for the refunded money back? Oh no, this is good. Just because this is how this is worded, I'm gonna guess this is like a 5-paragraph long essay. Oh good, it's not. Okay, my 28-year-old female friend Marissa, a 28-year-old female friend, Marissa, who's 29 years old, thoughtfully bought me a ticket to a concert as a birthday gift. The thing is that I already had a ticket for this concert, as I'm a huge fan of the acts, and acted quickly as soon as I saw tickets were on sale. I was excited at the thoughtfulness of the gift, but was reluctant to tell her I had a ticket to that show already. I claimed the extra ticket in my Ticketmaster account and pondered what to do with it. Having an extra ticket to a now sold out show, I sold the extra ticket to another friend of mine, Sophie, who could no longer get one due to it being sold out. She was grateful for the ticket and paid me the face value of the cost. And now Sophie can attend the show with Marissa and I. I also needed the money at the time, so everyone was sorry. About a month later, the concert got canceled. Since I did not buy the ticket, the refund is going back to Marissa's card, since she was the original purchaser. She hasn't said anything about keeping the refund for my gift, but I have a feeling she may. I am in a bind now because my friend Sophie would like the money back for the ticket since the concert is canceled, and rightfully so. I'm happy to give it back to her. However, I'm concerned Marissa is keeping the refund for the ticket, essentially taking back my gift. Would I be the asshole if I asked Marissa for the money back so I can refund Sophie? Yeah, you would be the asshole because Marissa doesn't owe you a refund for the ticket she bought you as a gift. In all likelihood, Marissa will use some of the refunded money to buy you something else. However, Marissa is not required to buy you anything, so you'd be a massive asshole for asking for that money. Better question is, why don't you work out a timeline with Sophie for when you can pay her the refunded money instead of asking Marissa for something you're not entitled to? Yes, this person nailed it 100%. You win. You won. Am I the asshole for snapping at my mom? Oh, okay. Oh, you can't even be bothered to capitalize anything. This is going to be rough, isn't it? A previous... Oh, this is a continuation of a post, too. Okay. Am I the asshole for asking my fiancé to put flowers in a vase when he gifts them to me? Yeah. Fuck you. Enjoy your flowers. Am I the asshole for asking my roommate not to bug me about rent in the hospital after I got hit by a car? Potentially. Is it, rent for that month or rent from previous months? Oh god, so many edits. Don't care. If you have to edit that much, then you're not looking to honestly be the asshole or not. You just want to say the things that get people to say you're not the asshole. Am I the asshole for doing my job? Well, context. Basically, I'm in a Discord community. It's not a big one, but it is for a video game. Recently, about a couple of weeks ago, I was asked to become a moderator for said community. I said yes, of course, because I really liked being there and we had made new friends. I also thought that the admin of the server was really friendly and liked me. Well, that all changed real fast, I guess. Okay. The catalyst event was when the Discord admin showed up to a community event both high and drunk. They were so stoned and inebriated they couldn't talk or lead their part of the event. They were co-leading with me, so I had to step up and lead the entire thing. They eventually passed out midway through and many people left, including the server. Wait, what? Including the server? After that, I asked the admin to try not to drink or smoke so much before hosting a large-scale event, which they said they would. Then they said if they were that bad, they would take a momentary step back from the server to work some things out. Okay, this all sounds right. People saw that there was a problem. They communicated that problem. They came to a resolution. Now comes the kicker, the final straw in what I assume is the coffin. Okay, please don't mix so many anecdotes at once. Kicker, straw, coffin. Anyway, I reached out to a member for help with a tech-related issue. They had far more experience than me, and in the middle of the conversation they asked me, a mod, to remove a role they weren't affiliated with anymore. Thinking was no big deal, especially because I had never been told we weren't supposed to do this. I said I was able to do that, and so therefore I removed the role. I let my fellow mods, as well as the admin, know that what had happened, and then I went to bed. When I woke up, I had messages demanding why I hadn't redirected the request to the admin, or why the person hadn't let the admin know. I said that I don't know, and I didn't think it was a big deal since they asked us to become mods to help manage the server. I was then told I had stepped out of line, and we were not... Okay, so the whole drunk thing had nothing to do with this, right? Not to mess with roles, which okay, I've modded and admin the servers before, and not once has this ever been told to me, and especially hadn't been told to me when I joined this team. I wasn't sure why it was a big deal since the mods and I all had the ability to create, give, and take away roles. You're the asshole. Not really for the heart of what you did with removing a role without asking. That seems alright. However, you started this with poisoning the well by talking shit about the admin to make yourself look better, which had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to spark this thread. Kinda makes you look like a dick to point that out. Otherwise, messing up one of your mod responsibilities doesn't seem that bad, but I get the feeling that you're not telling the whole story, since this is how you decided to tell it. Straight up, dude. Like, this wasn't the catalyst. Nothing in here was the catalyst. Like, you could have removed this whole thing, because I thought this had something to do with him showing up drunk, and you were going to say, oh, alright, and then we did another event, and he showed up drunk and high, and that's what he was. But this had literally nothing to do with the rest of this here. You could have just said, hey, I was asked to be a mod. A couple months later, I was asked by one of the mods to change a role, and when I did that, other people didn't like it. Am I the asshole? I would have been like, no, you're not the asshole. Just seems like you guys need to communicate things, and maybe you should talk to him. But the fact that this is the way that you're doing it, jeez, makes me think that there's something else going on here that you have to like front load your conversation with. You're just trying to poison his reputation, and I don't think that's a healthy way to go about this. Would I be the asshole if I complained to property management about my upstairs neighbor using my window to climb onto their balcony? No. No, because you're going to be held responsible if it breaks. Long story sorry, we recently started having issues with our upstairs neighbor. They complained about our dog barking all day to property management. About 2 weeks later, complained again that our dog barks constantly. Honestly, I do not believe these complaints to be valid. Alright, so again, we're kind of skirting the issue here. I would like to make a point that the people above us have never complained about our dog barking all day before, nor did they just let us know if he was. My husband and I are always under the assumption that our relationship with the neighbors was good. We would say hello and talk to each other, and never felt like they couldn't approach us about a problem. Well, last Friday, after my husband left for work, I hadn't gotten home yet. Jay apparently came down to our apartment with 3 other guys and started banging on the door, shouting profanities, calling my husband a pussy, and trying to provoke my husband out to fight. This is all according to my other neighbor. We will call him S. S approached us on Sunday when he saw each other to let us know what had happened, and I promptly wrote an email to the property manager about it. I assume that Jay heard my husband call the leasing office to discuss the complaint, and heard my husband complain about the loud music that we can hear over our TV all the time. God, it sounds like everyone here is an asshole. I feel anxious in my home when I'm here alone now since this, which is a decent amount of time. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, today around then, I'm home alone and I see someone moving around outside the doors, and I hear a bang. Look out my window, I see Jay using S's step stool and my grill and window to get into his balcony because I assume he was locked out. It freaks me out because to see someone climbing on the windowsill and annoyed me that he was using other people's property without permission. To get on his balcony, you could have called his girlfriend Dee to come home to unlock the door, especially after everything is seen. Okay. Everyone sucks here is what I'm gonna go with. I get the feeling that all of this could be resolved if you guys just talked to each other instead of, I was gonna say snitching, but that's kind of a loaded word. I don't want to say snitching, but instead of going to management. As long as you are going to live there, you should try to hash things out by using property management as a proxy for, not as a proxy, as a first response. You're inviting them to continue to do the same to you. Basically, yeah, like if you have to go to property management to get them to stop, and they're going to property management to do things to you, like say your dog is barking, then yeah, you're just basically crying to teacher over stuff, and you're not going to actually resolve your problems. And they can just make up whatever they want on top of that. If you don't want to do that, you probably need to move. That's what I'm going to say there. Everyone sucks here. Almost at the bottom here. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're getting close. Am I the asshole for taking long showers for relief despite it annoying my roommates? Probably. Probably. I, 21 female, recently developed tinnitus a few months ago. It's devastating me because I've always made sure to take really good care of my ears as I play instruments, but I woke up one day with ringing in my head out of nowhere. It's not caused any medical issues, so my doctor said it's unfortunately something to live with. Taking showers was pretty much my only relief from this, as fans and white noise machines I've tried don't work. I take a shower every day and lengthen them from 10 minutes to about a half hour long, with the majority of the time spent sitting down and chilling. Being able to have a clear head, even for a short amount of time, really helps stave off the depression and dread I feel possibly having this for the rest of my life. However, my roommates absolutely hate it. As this is somewhat recent development for me, I make sure to try to take my showers when they aren't home. If they do happen to be home and need something in the bathroom, I get out immediately. They say this isn't good enough, though, and it's annoying to know I'm going to be in the bathroom forever for something that's not even that bad, which really frustrates me. Yeah, info. Is this the only bathroom in the apartment? It is the only bathroom. I understand how that could be annoying. I'm looking into noise-canceling headphones, but they're expensive. I feel like you're kind of the asshole here. It's not like bad, but whenever you're, what is it, like your coping mechanism with a problem negatively influences other people, it's probably not a healthy coping mechanism. But not by much. The problem I see is that it's common for people to have coping mechanisms with their problems. And those can be alright. However, it sounds like the one you're going with inconveniences? Damn it. It's an E before I thing, isn't it? No, it's an I before E. I just misspelled it. Okay. However, it sounds like the one you're going with inconveniences other people in a way that's avoidable. You say in another post that this is the only bathroom and your self-care gets in the way of other people needing to use that space. It's not like you're a total douchebag, but I think you're not being considerate of their needs while taking care of your own. Just because other options don't work as well as this one doesn't mean you're entitled to the resources, the communal, let's say that, of your shared space at any given time. Because basically, let's say someone broke their leg and they can't move around a whole lot. So what ends up happening with that person is they end up bedridden or they get stuck on a couch for a long time. And that's pretty inconsiderate to other people because, you know, you're taking up space. But reasonably, what are you going to do? You're like, you can't put a lot of pressure on the leg. You got to give it time to heal. So you're going to occupy space that you don't want to. And people kind of have to deal with that. I would say you're not really an asshole in that situation. With this one, you're talking about a coping mechanism for something, and it's getting in the way of other people, but it's not your only option. It's not like having the broken leg where, you know, you can't just be like, okay, well, I'm going to take off the cast and go sit around for a bit. Like, you've got tinnitus all day. Your time in the shower is just a little coping time for you, a little relaxation time. And you can fit that time in at other points. So, you know, it could be just before bed. It's when, like you said, they're not home. And trying to be accommodating to that's okay. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to prioritize your needs and you're using up communal space and you think you're more important than them, I kind of think you're a bit of an asshole, especially when you say, I tried doing white noise machine and noise canceling headphones, they just don't work as much. Okay, well, I feel like you're just trying to make an excuse then. But again, it's not like they're a super asshole for that. It's not like they're going, oh, well, I'm going to sit in the shower for 2 hours and not let anybody come in. Like, that would be like 100% you're the asshole. But this one, they're kind of straddling that line. But it's not overwhelming. I just feel like they don't understand the situation they're putting their roommates in. Am I the asshole for walking out of a dinner after my sister wouldn't shut up? Ooh. Probably, but is this one going to be a huge story? It's not that bad, but... is there a TLDR? No. Let's just do this last one. Wanting to talk about college? No, probably not. Am I the asshole for threatening to stop my mother from looking after my daughter without supervision? Probably not. Okay, this one's digestible. To give a background, me and my husband were due to do some decorating. We asked my mother if she could have her daughter for 3 days. She agreed. My daughter has medicated dietary issues, which means she needs to eat fruit before meals so that she doesn't just fill up on carbs and sugar, otherwise her condition worsens and becomes painful. My mother knows this, and despite being asked to give my daughter fruit before meals, and usually doing this on previous occasion, my daughter has said that her grandmother gave her no fruit before meals over the 3 days she stayed. My mother has confirmed this, saying she's sorry and she forgot. This had made me lose trust in letting her look after my daughter again. On top of this, I asked if my mother would take time to read a book a day with my daughter for school. My mother took the time to read 1 book over the 3 days, which has frustrated me as all I'm asking for is a little help. We both work full time and still find time to read with our daughter in the evenings, but my retired mother didn't find time in 2 days to read a book with her. I expect my daughter spent hours upstairs watching an iPad instead. Bottom line, I appreciate that she did the favor by looking after my daughter, but to forget about her health issues and not bother spending reading time with her really hurt me. She is the only grandparent my daughter has, and the only blood relation I have, but I feel totally left down and alone as I don't have any support from her. These are just 2 examples as she disagrees with my request. Based off of this, I want to say not the asshole, because I feel like medical requirements are a pretty important thing to stand by. Yeah, that's also true. How does that work? I didn't go into the details. This is not very pleasant. She has bowel problems, and along with medication, doctors recommend fruit before meals when she was diagnosed 4 years ago. Oh, excuse me. We found that fruit mitigates the condition further, otherwise she becomes impacted. Didn't want to add the gory details, but before fruit she would be going to the toilet once every 5 days and would tear each time. Ow. Yeah, would any fiber work then? It doesn't have to be fruit. I get why you're upset about the fruit, but the book thing is silly. When you're getting free childcare, you don't get to dictate the activities. Kind of. I want to say not the asshole. It sounds like you clearly communicated your desires and issues, and they weren't given serious consideration. Granted, let's say, yeah, you know what? I think we can just leave it at that. That pretty much says everything I want to say there. Again, anytime you're reading these Am I the Asshole posts, you got to take into account that people are giving their one-sided things. So, you know, it could be possible that this person is like, super into like natural medication, and when they're talking about doctors said to eat fruit beforehand, what she's actually talking about is some homeopath that said that, you know, you should take a bit of fruit juice and mix it with this water and drink that, and that's what they're actually talking about, and the mom doesn't take that up. And when they say books, they only have an approved book list, and you know, etc., etc. There could be way more behind this than what they're saying. So trying to take it at face value, I feel like they're not the asshole, but it could obviously go the other way. Now, I did have some responses here, so we'll take a peek at those before we close this out. Okay, so this is the person talking about the Discord server and the property management one. Okay, so let's see. You're the asshole. Not really for the heart of what you did, but with removing the role without asking, that seems alright. However, you started this with poisoning the well by talking shit about the admin to make yourself look better, which had absolutely nothing to do with what happened to spark this thread. Kinda makes you look like a dick to point that out. Otherwise, messing up one of your mod responsibilities doesn't seem that bad, but I get the feeling you're not telling the whole story since this is how you decided to tell it. Now, I told that part of the story because since that happened, the admin decided to take a step back for a few days, which they publicly announced in the server, as well as announcing that as the reason for taking a break. Once they stepped back, a member asked me to remove the role since the admin was not present. The admin then got mad at me for removing the role since they were not present and not attending the server. Okay, dude. You know what? That doesn't even justify a response. You're just literally restating what you said and not responding to this while downvoting me. So, you know, I'll take that downvote and just walk away, I guess. I get the feeling that all of this could have been resolved if you guys just talk to each other instead of going to management. As long as you're going to live there, you should try to hash things out. By using property management as a first response, you're inviting them to continue to do the same to you. If you don't want to do that, you probably need to move. I agree, and I wish that they would just have come to us first about our dog if he's barking a lot. It's not like I want my dog to be barking while we aren't home, if that's the case. They stopped talking to us after they made the complaint. I could try to talk to Dee, but I don't think that my husband and Jay should have any interaction. Okay. Well, I would say that's a good way to start resolving the problem. A small bit of communication can lead to more down the line. So any in you can get sounds like a healthy way to go about this. Then things might open up from there. There we go. Oh, that seemed pretty nice. It's not a bad way to end this little Am I the Asshole judgment stream thing. Well, if you like this content, then give that video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this. And of course, if you had your own judgments, feel free to put them down there in the comments section. I would like to read them and see what you guys had to say. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of those around you. Bye-bye.